Hello, hello everybody. Welcome to another World of Warships Legends shenanigans tonight with Phoenix 6-1. That is me, I am your host. We are rocking the Minotaur, right? So this is a challenging ship to play, right? So it is everyone's, every battleship's dream to dev strike a Minotaur the moment it gets spotted, right? So you do have to be pretty careful, you do have to be pretty conservative, cautious, trying to get spotted, that sort of thing, right? Because you can go down crazy fast. Worse than most other cruisers, right? I do like these torpedo angles. I do like that you get 2 racks of, 4 or 5 on each side, right? So lots of torpedoes. They can go 10 kilometers, right? So I'm going to sneak up behind this little ledge, island, whatever you want to call it here, right? So I'm going to dump some torpedoes through here. They're just kind of chance shot ones, right? So but we see this Azure pop up, right? So if he keeps coming, he would hit those, right? But I'm going to doubt he's going to stick his nose all the way through in between this, this alleyway here, right? But now that we're behind it, right, we're able to get shots off without getting spotted, right? So nobody has direct line of sight on us, so we can kind of take all the shots we want. And it is a little bit difficult to get those hits when you can't actually see him, right, when he's behind the island, right? But so as we poke our nose out, I trigger the smoke screen just to be safe here too. Anything else coming out a little bit further would also pick us up as well. And then also this way we can get our starboard side torpedoes through this, through here as well, right? So any destroyers or cruisers, anybody that wants to sort of challenge come through, they're going to take torpedo hits. I'm not sure if that first set's going to hit that Azure. I think we were a little bit further back, so they might be out of range, but we'll see if he doesn't die before they get there anyway. Yep, Vermont killed him off, right? We did end up with 22,000 damage throughout that encounter there, right? And then Schlieffen here, so this is where it's kind of tough. You just kind of have to gauge, and then sometimes I like to aim all the way high just to get, I call it my periscope peak, right? You're able to look and just see where the ship is, and then kind of bring your aim back down to where it should be, right? So we did make the mistake. We probably should have had our sonar going. That probably would have saved us from a torpedo there. So I tripped it now. But I think I don't know if maybe that was that Gearing or whatever destroyer that was that drove through before. But yeah, it was kind of, I thought I was in the clear, or at least was taking the chance thinking I was in the clear. And I definitely should have tripped the sonar sooner, right? So I'm running fully packed. You guys know me, I'm almost always using fully packed for cruisers, right? And so I don't know why I didn't have it going, right? I should have just had it on, but I didn't, right? So these bullets do fly pretty high, right? So you do get a decent chunk of, advantage here being able to shoot over obstacles, right? So we kind of are taking advantage of that. Able to get a little bit on this Republic, right? And then I noticed the B-hole here is getting captured, right? So I was like, all right, maybe I can poke my nose through, send some torpedoes, and so that does get us picked up, right? So we kind of have a good idea of, yep, right about there is probably where the destroyer is, right? And then now we see smoke popping up as well, right? So destroyer doesn't realize that he's the only one picking us up, so when he smokes, we go undetected, and we're able to get some shots off here without being spotted again. While we back up to guarantee our concealment a little bit more here, right? So we're just kind of living here at the moment. I'll take advantage of if targets are going to present themselves, we will take advantage of that and just keep using and abusing the cover here. And Republic's going to give us some nice, easy, chunky damage with each salvo that we're able to get off on him. Right, so super fast reloading on that ship is really, really great. Schlieffen, I imagine we'll be able to hit him once he gets a little bit further forward here. This is the same guy we were trying to get hits on before. And then I do always like to aim a little bit higher, and then I noticed he was turning away as well if you were looking at the mini-map at the same time. Right, so that's why I kind of really went high there. But yeah, you're not going to get a lot of especially at range when you're like when their targets are far out. I just kind of like to make the bullets rain on top of them. That's kind of where you're going to get the most out of, you know, the way this ship works, right? Of course, no HE shells, which is like would be really huge here. That's where the Brisbane comes in, but then you don't get smoke screen with the Brisbane if you have the Brisbane. Right, yep, and our destroyer that's in our division is keeping him spotted, but we're eventually not going to be able to shoot him, right? And then Ohio shows up here. He's got quite a bit of health left as well. We do have a smoke screen ready, so my plan here is to try and sneak around the corner, get our torpedoes off, and then use our smoke screen, right? But we end up getting picked up by the destroyer ahead of time, so I kind of aborted that plan, right? Because if we were to come out in front of that Ohio broadside, he would definitely be taking shots at us, right? And so here's where, you know, your concealment within smoke screen, you still have to worry about while firing your guns, right? So he's in that sort of like 5.5 kilometer range, right? So firing our guns would definitely have gotten us spotted there. And I don't even know why I bothered sending, I mean, but even the first rack, I shouldn't have wasted my time with it, but that destroyer is still out there somewhere as well, so I'm kind of like, well, maybe we'll pick up the destroyer with the torpedoes, right? We'll have to see. But they definitely were not going to hit the Ohio, right? Alright, so we're triggering sonar again, yet because we know that destroyer's out there, and he's probably going to send torpedoes, and so there they are. Continue to pick on the Schlieffen. It's always like tempting, you know, knowing that destroyer's there and he's probably fairly close, right? It's always tempting to just go out there, try and pick him up, but we would go down so quickly from these, you know, at the time 3 battleships that were still left, right? Somebody finished off the Schlieffen, right? And so what we're going to do here is we're not going to fire our guns, right? Because firing our guns, because he's too close, right? So we can't fire our guns, that we would get spotted, right? But we can wait for these torpedoes to reload, right? The timing's going to be just right? Like right as our smoke screen dies down, and then we can kind of duck around the corner, right? So, and then we'll use the like the single fire, right? So as long as he keeps coming, we'll be able to send these. Inch forward just a little more. I was a little nervous that this was going to be like risky, right? And we'd end up dying as we get spotted here, but we're able to duck around the corner as we get those off. I think did it look like one of them hit the land there? We'll see how many hits we actually get here. 3. Yeah, we got 3. And then we do have another rack, right? So now if he keeps coming, we'll be able to do the same thing again, kind of play this cat and mouse with him. And then if he's got target acquisition on, he's going to pick us up at 3 kilometers, so there that is, right? So he can see us, so now we're going to have to worry about taking damage from him. So I'm turning in, even though we're in reverse, right, to try and mitigate a little bit of it, right? And so most of his rounds hit that chunk of land there. We'll get our torpedoes off, and then we'll floor it forward to try and get away from him before he can get anything else off, right?
Torpedoes direct front.
And we got torpedoes coming from the other side. Hit him with all 4, so that ends him. And then now it's a matter of finishing off this battleship and hunting down the destroyer, right?
We've been spotted.
2 kills in the books, 160,000 damage. Alright, we know the destroyer's off in that direction. We'll just take a guess. Maybe he's heading towards his battleship buddy. So we'll send torpedoes that way. And there's the smoke screen. So our guess was kind of good, but I'm going to say he might be too far out of range for our torpedoes. We'll have to see what happens here. And then we're using smoke because we're going to take wicked damage from that Republic.
Hate to break it to you, but
And then again, he is sort of within the range of, I don't know if it's like 5.5 kilometers or so with the ship. Every ship's different. It's all dependent on your concealment. But he's within the range where if we were to fire our guns while in our smoke screen, he would still pick us up and spot us, right? So I'm backing up, trying to get our torpedoes able to line those up, right? But of course, everybody else is shooting him. He's literally the only enemy ship spotted, so of course everyone's going to shoot him, right? So we'll send him, but it might be another Ohio situation where everybody else finishes him off before our torpedoes get there. I'll send the other rack kind of closer to where that smoke screen was, right? And then I tried to get the like cheeky cheater kill there right at the end as his health was really low, but it didn't work out for us, right? So since we are in the cruiser, the only thing left is the destroyer. We will make a beeline for that smoke screen, see if we can't pick him up.
Torpedoes dead ahead.
And he's firing his gun, so we could take the blind shot if we wanted to.
Torpedoes dead ahead.
Torpedoes on the port side already, so we might as well just send those. He's got to still be in there because we're not spotted, so I don't think he moved away. There he is. Shimakaze, full health. Alright, let's do this. This is, you're about to witness the power of this ship's ability to kill destroyers at this kind of close range, right? So he's going down wicked fast, right? Now, granted, we get picked up some, some damage from our allies, shot him as well, but he didn't stand a chance there. Alright, we'll see where we end up on the leaderboard, but we ended with 181,000 damage on that, 3 kills, and still got second place, right? So our buddy that was with us at 4 probably had some zone captures, right? So he was at 3,500 XP. We almost broke 3,000, right? And economy-wise, still came out on top with 200,000 silver. Always a pleasure making some credits when you're on legendary tier, right? So we are using William Tennant. So the Santa Claus is just a Geist, right? So it's all for looks, just for show. But yeah, main battery shell grouping for inspirations. And then the other one is range, so cruiser range. I've started using him quite a bit more for my inspirations on cruisers. And then, yeah, we're going AP shell penetration multiplier. Obviously, you wouldn't want to use the fire one because, well, you don't have HE shells to start with. I don't do the torpedo detectability because you do have sonar, right? So as long as you're using your sonar correctly or smartly, whatever you want to call it, right, you shouldn't need the torpedo detectability, right? And this row, like this third row, I mean, you do you, right? They're all sort of defensive choices, right? And then same with the lower row as well. The last one, you could go rudder shift time, but I've got the sonar duration and cooldown time, right? So, and then this one gives you an extra charge as well. So between that and fully packed, we've got plenty of sonar charges. So I guess if you find yourself not going through all of your charges, maybe pick the other one, that kind of thing, right? Yeah, so you don't get refill station with this commander, right? So if that's something you're looking for, you'd have to pick a different commander. But yeah, so yeah, fully packed, that's kind of my go-to. There's a few exceptions out there, but for most of the time, I'm using fully packed with my cruiser commanders, right? So I do think if you find yourself not going through the vast majority of your consumables, right, it would totally make sense to just pick something else. But, obviously, you do you. This is what I do. This is my preference, right? So, yeah, enjoy. Thank you guys so much for watching my video all the way through. We are doing World of Warships Legends videos every single freaking day on my channel, right? So make sure you're following. And if you are, we'll see you tomorrow.